We're supposed to be leaving today. We're supposed to be leaving the EU. This is the day. This is Brexit Day. We were told for years that on March 29th, we will be leaving the European Union. And now is March the 29th, and now is the night of March the 29th, and there's crowds all throughout London. But we ain't leaving, are we? That means that democracy doesn't work. That means that we now know that democracy isn't functioning. And even Jacob Rees-Mogg, who voted for the deal recently, which he knew was a surrender, now he's trying to do damage control by saying that he had no choice and that he didn't believe that no deal was on the table because Parliament had voted it down. What about the 17.4 million people? How can Parliament supersede that? If you believe that's the case, then you're not interested in democracy, Rees-Mogg. It's just farcical now. I don't even know what's going on. There was like a third vote, and now there's going to be a fourth vote, a fourth meaningful vote, which is exactly the same. Even though Bercow said he wouldn't let them vote if it was exactly the same, which is exactly what he's doing right now. I mean, we better leave with the measures that the EU has passed recently, with Article 13, Article 11, Article 17, all these new things about, measures in cars, etc., that can slow down your car automatically by disrupting the engine, and all these black boxes that are going to be in cars, and these big brother methods to get us into driverless cars. They're forcing us, they're drugging the public, so they demand more. And people will take it because they like the technology, even though it's spy tech. They love all the Alexa, they love all the Echo Dots. They love their smart meters, they love their 5G. They look forward to their 5G. They don't know it's going to fry their brain. We really do have to fight too many things at once. And the media, another thing, even though they're completely disproven now, because they were going on about Russian collusion for ages. And the Jussie Smollett case, that proves there is no justice. And now even Trump is demanding the DOJ investigate it. But what about Obama? What about Hillary Clinton? Are these crimes just going to be unpunished? Well, now Devin Nunes is moving forward with plans to indict people that are involved in the Pfizergate conspiracy. But I switched overseas there. I started off in Britain talking about Brexit, and then I moved on to America, as so often happens nowadays with the global affairs. Because it's a globe, you see. I'm sorry, flat earthers. Tony Blair nullified treason laws so treason was no longer illegal. And then Gordon Brown signed the Lisbon Treaty, gave all our gold to Germany when it was at record low, to the Bundesbank. And the Queen then signed the Lisbon Treaty, that was treason, but no one's ever going to get punished because treason was legal by then. Then David Cameron with his breakdown, dismantling of the military services and industrial and manufacturing, etc. All the manufacturing industry closed down so that we could be interdependent on the EU. You see, it was all measures to try and entangle us so that we need to stay. And he spent £9 million on the literature, which was sent out to everyone's house saying that they were gonna respect the vote, whatever we voted for, and they were going to implement it. And that's the key word, implement. And now, 2.5 years later, we're still waiting for it to be implemented. And it's essential that it is, because the EU is now openly tyrannical. If you look at the EU army, the security arrangements, etc., what they talk about, Federica Mogherini, they're just openly announcing these things that Nick Clegg once upon a time called a dangerous fantasy. Is he going to apologise for that, Mr. Facebook? I bet he's partly responsible for the whole white nationalism, white separatism thing being deleted from Facebook. Because now that's not allowed, but it's fine to have, the opposite of that. I don't even want to go there. I literally don't want to go there. I don't want to go to Facebook anymore. I've got MeWe and Minds and everything else now, Parler. But it's suddenly become essential that we have Brexit and that we Brexit from the European Union with no deal, as we are legally obliged to do, no matter what Jacob Rees-Mogg says about some stupid Parliament measure which says we can't leave with no deal. We can't go on WTO rules because Parliament voted it. 200 people seem to be able to supersede 17.4 million, and democracy counts for nothing when it comes down to Parliament, which is what Jacob Rees-Mogg's argument is. He voted for the deal he knew was vassal status. He knew it was a complete betrayal, and he'd voted against it twice. He knew it was exactly the same, and this time he voted for it. So he's lost his credibility. It's quite pathetic listening to him on LBC earlier on. Farage too. You shouldn't have left at that critical moment after fighting for 20 years for the country to leave the European Union and be free, and then just suddenly leave politics and then come back and sabotage UKIP by putting in Henry Bolton and supporting him. Not supporting Anne-Marie Waters and not supporting Gerard Batten. Alright, I don't entirely trust Gerard Batten. I don't like what he's done with Anne-Marie Waters and tried to, disinvite her, etc. But you've got to trust someone. You've got to come together in some form of unity. Otherwise it's going to be too split. It's going to be too fractured. We're going to end up with the same dog and pony show. We're going to end up with the same puppets on strings, whether it's Tory or whether it's Labour. Politics needs to change now because the current politicians and the current batch of politicians have destroyed democracy. I predict what's going to happen is the right are going to regain power and the left are going to riot, and then the police state is going to be brought in, and then the curfews are going to be brought in and everything because of the left. That's what they do. Because if the right did that, we'd be doing it today, and we're not. Democracy was betrayed. Brexit was supposed to be delivered today. They're all openly lying. And what are we doing? We're just saying, shame on you, and walking down the streets with flags and being facilitated by the police. It's no Gilets jaunes, is it?